Shalom friends, today we're looking at Parshat BeHaalotecha. We're going to look at some verses in the Parshah with a view to seeing a lesson that we can learn and implement in our daily lives today. We're going to look at the third Aliyah, which shares a very beautiful lesson in life. I'm going to read from the words themselves as they appear in the Parshah. I'm going to translate it, and then from there I'm going to explain exactly what these words mean and what the lesson is that it's coming to teach us. Listen to these beautiful words. In Parshat BeHaalotecha, Perek Tet, Pasuk Aleph, which means chapter 9, verse 1, the verse states as follows. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe b'midbar Sinai b'shana hashenis l'teitza me'eretz Mitzrayim b'chodesh harishon lemor. And Hashem spoke to Moses in the desert of Sinai in the second year from the time that they left Egypt, from the land of Egypt, in the first month, and he said the following. Now here's the story. The background is the Jewish people are freed from bondage on the 15th day of Nisan. Going back a few thousand years ago, the Jewish people were enslaved in Egypt. At a certain point in time, Hashem took the Jewish people out and freed them from the land of Egypt, taking them into the land of Israel. This was all accomplished through his agents, through Moshe Rabbeinu. Moses, our teacher, was responsible for taking the Jewish people out of Egypt. Now, according to this, after this entire event took place, later on in the story, Hashem commands Moshe in the desert, in the second year, which means immediately afterwards, 1 year later, after the event took place, in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, and he said to them the following, V'yasu b'nei Yisrael es ha-Pasach b'muado. Let the Jewish people do a Pesach offering, a Paschal offering, on the particular day that they're required to do it. When should that be? B'arba'asa yom b'chodesh hazeh. On the 14th day in this month, which means to stay in the month of Nisan on the 14th day, Bein ha'arbaim, in the afternoon, ta'asu oso b'muado. Make it and do it in accordance with its correct timing, and do it according to all its laws and its judgments, everything according to what I've told you to do. Basically, they should do it in that way. Fine. The verse continues. Moshe goes off immediately and he tells the Jewish people, the Israelites in other words, that they should make for themselves this Pesach offering, the Paschal offering. Remember, on the 14th of Nisan, coming up now to the second year after they leave Egypt. The story continues. And they made the Pesach offering. They did it on the first month, on the 14th day of the month. And they did it in the afternoon in the desert of Sinai, in accordance with everything that God had commanded Moses. That is what the Israelites did. The Bnei Yisrael, they did everything as they should have done. Fantastic. Vayihi anashim asher hayu tameim lenefesh adam v'lo yachlu la'asos ha'pesach bayom hahu vayikrevu lifnei Moshe v'lifnei Aaron bayom hahu. And guess what? There were certain individuals amongst the Jewish people that had a slight difficulty. See, the problem is, you can only offer the Paschal lamb, this Pesach offering, when you're in a state of ritual purity. But it turned out that there were some people who really wanted to do the offering as it should be, but unfortunately, they were not pure. So there were some people that were impure due to the fact that they had been in touch with a corpse. Once a person is in touch with a corpse, he is in a state of impurity. And they were not able to offer the Pesach offering on that day. So they came before Moshe, before Moses, and before Aaron, and they had a question to ask him. And these men said to him, they said to Moshe, we are impure because we've been in touch with a particular corpse. They asked him, why should it be, they asked, that we should be lacking, that we cannot offer this offering to Hashem in its time, together with all the Jewish people? It's not fair. we too wanted to take a part of the spiritual journey. We also wanted a part of refining ourselves. We wanted to do the mitzvah, but we weren't allowed to do it because we were in a state of impurity. Vayomer aleim Moshe, imdu ve'eshma'a ma yitzaveh Adonai lachem. And Moshe said to them, stand and I will listen to what Hashem will command you. Meaning, you've asked a good question. Let me go and ask God what to do. He'll tell me, and then we'll see what the right thing is. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, and Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, this is what should be done. Daber el b'nei Yisrael lemor, ish ki yetameh lanefesh, o b'derech rechoka lachem, o ledoreseichem, v'asa pesach l'Adonai. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, every person who it turns out will be in a state of impurity due to the fact that they were in touch with a corpse, or actually it could be a different reason. They could have been very far away from the Beis Hamikdash. They could be far from the place where they could offer the offering. And as a result of that, they wouldn't be able to offer the offering on time. Or it could occur any point in time, in any generation. And tell them they should make the Pesach offering in any case to Hashem. How should they do it? The verse continues, in the second month, which means now the month of Iyar, Nisan is the first month, Iyar is the second month. On the 14th day, again in the afternoon period of time, they should do it, and again they should eat it just like they would have done initially, with the matzahs and the maror, just like on the Pesach evening, when we come to the Seder, everybody's eating the matzahs, everybody eats maror, and then of course at the end of the meal, we're supposed to eat the Paschal offering, the Pesach offering. In today's times, because there's no Beis Hamikdash, we don't offer a Pesach offering, and as a result of that, we eat a piece of matzah. At the very last part of the meal, right at the very end, we call it the afikomen. The afikomen, of course, is a Greek expression. It's related to a Greek word which means dessert. When we finish off our meal, the halakha says nobody is allowed to have dessert. When you finish off the meal in the Seder, no dessert. So why do we call it afikomen? Because, so to speak, this is the dessert. What is the dessert? The mitzvah of the Pesach offering. What is that all about? Dessert is the final part of the meal that should be so tasty, you don't want anything afterwards. Sometimes the meal might not be the tastiest, exactly what you want. So we have some ice cream. So we have some fruit salad. So we have some chocolate pudding. I don't know what. We have all different things at the end of the meal. And it makes us feel good at the end of the meal. This is dessert. Now we feel we've had a fantastic meal. The afikomen at the end of the meal is the dessert and the tastiest part of the meal. Which should be the tastiest part of the meal? Well, of course, it's the Pesach offering. But since today's times we don't have the Pesach offering, we eat a piece of matzah. And the matzah acts as the dessert in order that when we go to sleep, the taste of the matzah remains in our mouths all throughout the night while we sleep. And thereafter, we don't eat anything else afterwards. You see, we're not allowed to eat dessert. So therefore, what do we say? Eat the afikomen, which is the dessert. In other words, the dessert is the very mitzvah itself, and that is the taste that remains in the mouth. So the verse continues and says, Lo yash'iru mimenu ad boker, ve'etzem lo yishberu bo, kechol chukos ha'pesach ya'asu oiso. And they should not leave anything behind until the morning. Nothing should be left, and they shouldn't break the bone. And according to all of the statutes of the Pesach offering, so shall they do it. The verse continues and points out, of course, Va'ish asher hu tahor, but a person who was in a state of purity, or bederech lo haya, and he wasn't actually along a road, he wasn't far away, v'chadal la'asos ha'pesach, and he still didn't do the Pesach offering, that soul shall be cut off from its nation, because he did not offer the Pesach offering. He did not offer the Paschal lamb as a sacrifice, which was a mitzvah in the Torah. Okay, let's just continue till the end. That soul shall be cut off from its nation, he didn't offer it at the right time. He will have to deal with the sin that he has committed. Now, these verses are very powerful. They share a very powerful lesson to us. Now think about it. Everybody was supposed to offer, according to the mitzvah, in Nisan, meaning on the 14th day of Nisan, the Paschal lamb, mitzvah, to connect with Hashem. Apparently, we have this idea there are two main mitzvahs that connect the Jew to Hashem. This would be the blood of the Paschal offering and the blood of the bris of the circumcision. These are the two aspects that connect a Jew towards Hashem. In a physical aspect, of course. Of course, everybody has to study Torah. Of course, everybody has to do mitzvot and everything else. But the essence of the blood seems to have some sort of a connection that when we are involved in this physicality of blood, this kind of brings us to a connection with Hashem. Of course, on a higher level, let us not think about it of physical aspects of bleeding all over the show, and therefore that's what it is. But essentially, the concept of connecting with the flesh and the soul always being the blood, and the flesh, the outside of the physical body, and the blood, which is the soul of the person. As we connect with this, we connect with Hashem. These are the two mitzvahs that connect us to Hashem. The Paschal lamb must be offered on the 14th day of Nisan. But there were some people that were not able to do the mitzvah, and they really wanted to do it. Hashem says it's okay. If a person was in a situation that was against his will, he was forced into it, he was unable for reasons beyond what he could capably do in his own life, he may offer the offering in the month of Iyar, 1 month later, also on the 14th day of Iyar. The Torah is teaching us a powerful lesson. Everybody has heard this idea before, but let's hear it again. The idea is there is always a second chance to be more successful and do whatever it is that we may not have done and accomplished before. When a person is in a situation whereby, because of no particular reason due to his own doing, he feels he has lost out on something, he should never feel that he has lost out. There is always an additional opportunity to still cash in on the mitzvah and be able to do it at another point in time. Many people come closer to Torah at a later stage in their lives. We're not all fortunate enough to go to Cheder when we're 3 years old, 2 years old, learn Aleph Beis, and immediately at the age of 4, we're learning Chumash. By the age of 5, Mishnah. By the age of 6, Gemara. By the age of 10, we're involved in the study of the Sod HaMerkavah. We're already learning the secrets of the Merkavah. Who knows where? Who knows what? We become so involved in our learning when we're young. We can achieve all sorts of great levels. And by the time we're 20 years old, we've mastered all the Torah already, just like many of the great sages did. But not all of us can do this. Some of us come back to Torah at a much later stage in our lives. And even if we don't talk about Torah, there are just things that we want to do, and we feel we didn't accomplish them in our lives as we lived them at a younger point in our times, in a younger point in our lives. When we were 15, we thought we'd do certain things. When we were 20, we thought we'd do certain things. 30, 40, it doesn't make a difference. We find ourselves maybe at the age of 70, maybe the age of 80, and we look back and we say, we've lost out. The Torah says to us, you've never lost out. As long as it wasn't because of something you really did against everything, there's always a way to come back. Actually, sometimes even when we do things that we shouldn't have done, there's still a way to come back. The gates of Teshuvah are never locked. The gates of crying are never locked. We can always come back to Hashem. We can always do more. We can always succeed. You didn't learn Gemara when you were 15 years old? It's okay. When you're 40 years old, pick up a Gemara. Begin learning. See how far you can get. And the accomplishment that you'll make then will be all worth it. It will make it as if now, when you look back, you realize what you can achieve. And from that point onwards, you're able to achieve. In the month of Nisan, there's a special energy. It's an energy of spirituality, an energy of Geula, an energy of redemption. Now, the time to offer the offering is in that time of redemption. We want to grab the redemption as soon as we can. That's the month of Nisan. God says everything's open for you. The gates are open. Just hook into it, do what you're supposed to do, and automatically the flow of spiritual energy will come down to you. But sometimes there's something in the way. What could it be? Could be a dead body. What do you mean a dead body? Meaning ourselves. We could be dead. Not really dead physically, but spiritually we're dead. We came in touch with a corpse. We are the corpse. And as we were growing in our lives, we didn't achieve what we had to achieve. We're the dead. We didn't do it. And so long as you're not doing it, it's as if there is a death over there. Life is when we involve ourselves in Torah and mitzvahs. Death is the opposite. So the person found himself in touch with death. Or alternatively, he was at a far place. Well, what does that mean? It means we were far from where we should have been. We should have been close to Torah. We should have been close to the mitzvahs. We should have been close to Hashem. But for some reason, maybe not even due to ourselves, we didn't realize what there was out there. We didn't realize how much there was. We thought we knew it all. Hashem says to Moshe, but tell the Jewish people that if they weren't able to grab the holy, beautiful, mystical energy that was around in the month of Nisan while all life was happening, don't worry. All of that can change. In the month of Iyar, you can grab hold of that same energy. How does that work? In the month of Iyar, Iyar is a month of refuah, of healing. If you take the initials of the letters Iyar, it stands for Ani, Aleph, Hashem with the Yud, the abbreviation. So you can also put two Yuds together make Hashem's name. Reish, Iyar, Ani, Hashem, Reish, Rofecha. I am Hashem, your healer. In the month of Iyar, it's a time of healing. Beautiful. If we didn't grab the spiritual energy as it existed in the month of Nisan, where everything just flowed beautifully, everything worked out for us. But a month later, there is still that opportunity of healing. We can embrace it. We can take that healing, we can bring it to ourselves, we can change ourselves, and even though we didn't have the opportunity in the month of Nisan, we didn't get it right, we turn around and we say, there's another time to succeed. We can do it. Never feel that if you've lost out on something, that there isn't another opportunity. And it doesn't matter what. A person could have done the worst things in their life, God forbid. But if he's sincere, he can break through all the barriers and he can say to himself, but today I am a different person. The moment I do that teshuvah, I am a new person. It is as if the old person no longer exists. And today here I stand as a new individual. Once we recreate ourselves, once we become that new person, we're able to achieve even more perhaps than we would have before. But certainly what was lacking, we can fill in. We can do it. That is the message of Aliyah 3 in Parshat BeHaalotecha. But I'd like to share just one chidush on the idea, because I was thinking about this. In the month of Nisan, we're supposed to offer the offering. In the month of Iyar, if we didn't do it because of reasons beyond our control, so then we can do it in the month of Iyar. Fine. But what about if we still didn't do it in the month of Iyar? Does that mean it's over? But the lesson teaches us, if you didn't do it then, you can always still do it again. And I think to myself, isn't that interesting? Parshat BeHaalotecha comes out later on after the month of Iyar. Here we are in the month of Sivan. We're almost a month later past Iyar 14, when we should have corrected what it was that we were supposed to do a month before. And only now we realize, hey, only now I'm reading the Parsha. And only in this Parsha now, 3 weeks later, do I realize the importance of returning, doing the right thing. We should always do the right thing at the right time. But in the event that time goes by and for any reason we're unable to achieve what it is, growth, study, the mitzvah, the kindness, the prayer, who cares? All the good that needs to be done. But there's a month of Iyar, there's a month of healing in which we can achieve that goal. And some of us don't do it. And we still hold back and we don't do it. Ego, rebelliousness, arrogance, anger. Think of all the emotions that come up. Why we didn't do the mitzvah. Why did we not yet put the tefillin on? Why did we not yet keep the Sabbath day holy? Why did we not yet keep a kosher diet? And we know we didn't do it. And now we could have done it. And still we didn't do it. Parshat BeHaalotecha, appearing almost a month later after the 14th day of Iyar, comes to tell us a deeper lesson. Because even if you didn't do it then, wake up now. When you see it again, wake up and do it. And if you don't see it now, just remember at the back of your mind, you need to still do it. And you can still do it. The Parsha of BeHaalotecha in Aliyah number 3 comes to teach us a powerful lesson in our own growth. And that is, no matter where we find ourselves, we can always do better. We can always make up for things that we feel we have lost. Whether we're Jewish, whether we're not Jewish, it makes no difference. Each of us is here in the world to achieve a goal, to grow, to become greater. Greater to ourselves, greater to other people, greater to Hashem. We need to connect on all 3 levels. Connect with ourselves, connect with other people, connect with Hashem. be in touch with others, be in touch with ourselves, with our own neshamas, with our own souls, and to be in touch with Hashem. If we feel that we've lost out at any point in time, don't throw the towel in. There is always a second chance. And with that, I leave you and hope that you will internalize this beautiful message as much as I myself will try to think it over again and again in the times in my own life where I feel I'm just not there yet and I haven't grown enough, and awaken myself and say also, I can do it. And even though time has passed by, here is a new moment for myself and I can continue and move on forwards. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Eliyahu Shear from Chesed Ve'emet, my website, www.lovingkindness.co. If, of course, you've enjoyed this lesson, please do subscribe to my channel, share this video with others, please let people know about my shiurim, and like the video as well. Feel free to comment, and of course, if you visit my website, if you have any questions, just go to the Contact Us page and send through your question. I'd be delighted to be in touch with you to answer you. And of course, if you want to learn one-on-one any aspect of Torah, or just to simply discuss life, discuss what we're going through, our goals and our challenges that we're going through, and how do we do it, please book a session with me and let's talk more and grow together. I look forward to seeing you in another shiur, and I wish you everything of the best. Take care. Shalom, shalom. Bye-bye.